Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burbies 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
It is now 19 hours 20 in Guyana. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Kaieteur Radio, the radio with a different. It is also the radio with the Lall show on it. And we're also streaming at Kaieteur Radio on Facebook and also our YouTube channel, Kaieteur Radio and Kaieteur Radio Guyana. You can also join us there. At the end of the presentation, we'll be accepting calls as usual, 226-7453, 226-7454, 622-2222. Now that we have all the housekeeping matters out of the way, Mr. Lall, we're listening, we're impatient. What do you have to tell us this evening?
I have lots to tell you, Kevin. Namaste.
Namaste.
Raj, namaste, Kevin.
Namaste.
Namaste, Guyana. It's Friday. And I think I'm going out this evening. If somebody buy me a drink. Just a beer. Kevin, I have a big question on my mind. You can help me answer it?
I'll try.
How do we get ourselves out of these shackles the leaders of this country have us in? Can you help me?
There are many steps that we could take.
How do we get ourselves out of this thing? Can you help me, bro?
One way is everyone carrying one mind and one intention. Everyone meaning the people of Guyana.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Uncle and Auntie, namaste. How do we get ourselves out of these shackles these leaders of this country have us in? Uncle, it has been a question I've been asking myself for some time now. And it's a question that every one of you should think about constantly. It should not slip your mind. Auntie, it should be like a mantra in your heads. Morning, noon, and night. What do I do? How do we get out of this prison the PNC and the PPP put us in with that ExxonMobil contract? Before we get down into the meat of tonight's program, Uncle and Auntie, let me give you guys a quick update of the boat mishap I spoke about Wednesday off the coast of Greece. The boat left with 700 plus passengers, men, women, and children. 78 were found floating. About 104 rescued and 100 still missing. Among them is over 100 children. You hear me, Kevin? Among them is over 100 children. Yes, they were all on the vessel heading to Italy in search of a better life. It was reported in the media that the boat sailed from Libya with Egyptians and Pakistanis on board, along with some Syrians. Several other boats, Uncle, over the years capsized with Africans on board heading towards Europe. All of them running away from their rich country that was exploited by those same countries they are now running to in search of a meal and a good life. Nigerians are the most, and Nigeria is listed as the 5th largest oil producing country on earth today. They pump trillions of US dollars in oil over the last 100 years. And more than half of the population, which is about 200 million people, can't even find a meal when the day come to eat. That same chronic sickness in those countries has already begun to happen here on a worst scale. I mean here in Guyana, uncle. When the PPP, the PNC, and ExxonMobil done with Guyana, listen to me carefully, when them three chaps is done with Guyana, even the stray dogs on the streets will turn their backs on 99%, or I should say 99.9% of the Guyanese people. Trust me, they will be hunting and competing for food, just like the dogs and the cats in the streets. And that 0.1% will be living like kings and queens. And you guys know who they are. I don't have to identify them. I don't have to. Oh. They're fully integrated, uncle. Yes. With the PPP and the PNC. Is this frightening? Yes, it's frightening. Are you waking up? No, you're not. And let's get going, please. You're not waking up, so let's get going. Saudi Arabia give one of the most watched TV programs in the US called 60 Minutes a tour of their oil command and control center, the monitoring room of their oil operations, uncle. I want you guys to listen to how a real country with real leaders manages the wealth of the country, the people's wealth. Could you please play that video for them?
This is the heart of our operation. This is the nerve center.
It keeps going. Look at this. This is gigantic.
He gave us a tour of the company's command center, where engineers scrutinize and analyze every aspect of the company's operations on a 220-foot digital screen.
Every facility in the kingdom, every drop of oil that comes from the ground is monitored in real time.
In this room?
In this room. And we have control of each and every facility, each and every pipeline, each and every valve on the pipeline, and therefore we know exactly what is happening in the system from A to Z.
What this map shows is all the oil fields in Saudi Arabia. That big green blob in the middle is Ghawar, the largest onshore oil field in the world. And the one on top is Safaniya, the largest offshore oil field in the world. And these green squares are super tankers that are being monitored on the high seas in real time.
So there's not anything that goes on with oil, with Saudi Arabian oil, that isn't known in this room right now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How much did this facility cost you?
A lot of money.
Oh, how much it cost you? A lot of money. A 220 feet digital screen. Uncle, that's like the length of 3 house lots Saudi Arabia has. They call it the nerve center to monitor every drop of their oil. They have control of every oil project. They know at any one point or any point in time what's going on with every foot of the pipeline, every valve on the pipeline. The man said they know from A to Z, from the control room, what goes on in the oil fields. What do we know here in Guyana? We don't know how many ships. We don't know how many ships, uncle, leaving per week, and how much oil they got inside. Much less to monitor a pipeline. The ships we don't know when they come or when they go. We don't know how much pipeline they use or how much it costs. We don't even know the actual amount of oil they find in this country. Until now, we don't know the real amount, uncle. The real amount of gas they're flaring. We don't know nothing. Whatever we know and whatever we get is why ExxonMobil tell we and give we. We don't know what the expenses are, where it comes from, how they arrive at it, if it belongs to Guyana or where it belongs to. We don't know nothing, uncle. We don't know how they calculate we profit either. We don't know what formula they use to reach at that 219 million they give us for the first 3 months in this country. When you come to think about this thing, uncle, not one of us know anything what's going on in this country. Not even President Ali, Norton or Jagdeo. So where are you? I'm talking about me and you. I know where I stand. And I think I know where most of you stand. Elections coming up. One done and the other one coming. Are you ready to shake off the handcuffs and shackles for them again? Are you ready to do something for yourselves, your children, or you will continue to lay back and throw back as usual? I'm just asking. That's the choice you have, uncle. You either allow them to dig a deeper hole to bury you inside, or you stand up for yourself. Both the PPP and the PNC is not going to help you unless you stand up for yourself. They're not going to help you. Unless you do something for yourself, uncle and auntie, they're not going to help you. All two of them, PPP and PNC, had a press conference yesterday. Aubrey Norton read from a statement that was all about local government elections and votes. Jagdeo had one too and said he's only dealing with local government elections. That's what they're focusing on. Who get what and who didn't get what? Who take power? Who win here and who win there? Who win in this region? Who win this town? And who win in this neighborhoods? That's all you're hearing from them. The oil, you don't hear anything about. If the reporters don't ask, you hear nothing. Jagdeo was asked about the oil law yesterday and the oil commission. Then he said, the draft paper for the new oil law will come out or will be in the public next week, Monday. And the commission, what I have to set up, is being put in place until now. Uncle, 7 years after we find oil in this country, now them talking about finalizing a law. It's like your wife getting a baby born, and 7 years later, the husband still looking for pampers for the child. Hey, this country is the best thing I ever come across. The husband looking for a babysitter 7 years after the baby born. This is the world-class leaders y'all have in the PPP and the PNC. The PPP is in the process of drafting a new oil contract. One different from what they give ExxonMobil. Uncle, that draft was put in the open, in the public domain, for Guyanese people to have a say. This new oil law will be out next week. I want to ask you a question. Will the PNC have a say in it? I don't know. We have to wait and see. But this is what these people doing to Ayo. All they're concerned with is Ayo votes. To sit together and make their minds work together so that we can have the best oil contract and oil law to put us in a place where we can all win. They're doing nothing of that sort. Instead, Uncle, man, they're cussing each other morning, noon, and night. Every press conference, they're cussing each other over frivolous things. You think we will ever become like Saudi Arabia? With a nerve center, the monitoring center, where you just heard about here? I might even got a TV for see what Exxon handling Ayo, much as to see what Exxon doing to Ayo. We don't have a proper oil law. We don't have an independent body to manage and monitor what's going on in the oil sector. We don't have a center to see anything that is going on there. But we have a government and an opposition that are always cussing down each other. This is how they're managing our resources and our future. Instead of watchman what going on with the oil, them a watchman one another for cuss one another. Bara Jagdev is in his own words say he does have to watch what Norton say before he can hold a press conference 2 hours after to cuss him down. Last week, I shouldn't say last week, man. Thursday, he said at his press conference, the PNC had blackout and he ain't get to watch their press conference. So he vexed. He had nothing to cuss about. So guess what he did, Uncle? He cussed Lall again. He said, I'm a madman. When Lall don't show up at his press conferences, he just insult the reporters, telling them it's a good thing He building hospitals for mad people. I have a little tape, what he did to one of my reporters. I'd like to play him. Play that tape for them, let them hear him.
So I heard you mention that you think it's not important. So is this the reason why the government has not been too keen on releasing these contracts, because it's not that important?
You sound like Glenn Lall. I see it's rubbing off on you. You just heard an explanation about proprietary. You just heard about proprietary, and that's it. You just heard about the proprietary concerns. And for your edification, and I already see you got another school coming up. We got to deal with another wave of people in the future. Thankfully, we having a particular hospital.
Thankfully, we're having a particular hospital to deal with them. The young man simply asked him about mining contracts, releasing the mining contracts. And you heard him, how he behaved. Like this Guyana belonged to he. Them are bringing people to thief with things, and when you ask questions, you hear how insultive he gets, and hear his tone of voice. You should have seen his body language. Talking about proprietary information. He can't release contract. Nobody wants to see proprietary information, Jagdeo. People want to see the contract, the deal. You sign or you sign between those foreigners and Guyana. That's what we need to see. There's nothing proprietary about that. But this is how this chap behaves. These are the type of people you're standing on your finger for. Giving you a 10-day job. And are you happy and comfortable? Giving you a bonus, grants, and little handouts here and there. Man, it's Friday, and I think I'm going out, and I don't want to upset my little body here. Exxon has to love these new house servants. Yes, Exxon gotta love people like them now. Uncle, before I shock your brain tonight, listen to this carefully. Trotman and the coalition allow Exxon to tie us up like iguana with a 2016 oil contract that they signed. The PPP and Barra Jagdeo, by approving more and more oil projects to ExxonMobil, is wrapping all of us up like a mummy from head to toe. And on top of that, they're stitching on a blindfold around the eyes. This is where Guyana is today, with those 5 projects. 2 granted by the coalition government and 3 by Barra Jagdeo himself. And he going to approve the 6th project by year end. That one will lift us off the ground and throw us overboard. We're dying on we back right now. Soon we will drown with that 6th project he's going to approve year end. Are you allow him? Are you allow him? This man will never come back on this radio program if Guyanese allow that man to approve the 6th project. And I would allow him. As a matter of fact, I'll join him. These people. Uncle and auntie were wrong with you. I am thinking to take a break. This will give you people some breathing space to think about what you want and what you're going to do to get what you want. How about that, Uncle? You're not getting anything from these projects. You're not getting anything from these oil projects. The PPP the government and the opposition got the trump card in their hands to wring out ExxonMobil nuts, but not doing anything with it. Both of them, PPP and PNC, busy dealing in tricks with your wealth. Come on, man. And all of you silent? Huh? Now let me shock your brain. Listen to this. Some of you may be thinking, well, at least we're getting a new ILA after 7 years, and we can get something. I'm sure you're thinking that way. Sorry, uncle. Sorry, auntie. You have nothing to get. And now let me explain how you got nothing to get. This new ILA, the PPP and the PNC are hustling to impress Guyana with. Please listen to me carefully. Please. Please. It will not affect ExxonMobil. It will not affect ExxonMobil whatsoever in that Stabroek block. I don't think y'all understand what I said there. This new oil law, Exxon is exempted from it. And they don't have to abide with nothing that is stated in it. The new oil law does not mean anything to them or exists for ExxonMobil. How you like that one, uncle? A country going to pass a new law to deal with its wealth, and one single company, ExxonMobil, with a major investment in the country, don't have to abide with anything the law says. Kevin, you understand what I said there? Thank you. It's like we got a law for kill people, but Exxon wouldn't be charged for murder. Them exempted. Uncle, Exxon gonna kill we, and them will never get charged for murder. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Them can thief, and the law doesn't cover them. They are a king in Guyana. They can do whatever they want and whenever they want. This new oil law, these morons going to put in place, is only going to apply to the new players in the 14 tiny oil blocks where no oil has been found as yet. That's the new oil law. You hear that, brother? This new oil law they're going to pass is to the 14 new oil blocks who got no oil in it. It will not affect ExxonMobil. I'm going on a vacation because I am a madman, as Jack Dale said. I need to go get a little more madness in my brains, not my head. Ay, 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 ay. Uncle, they passing law to monitor and manage 14 tiny oil blocks that not a single drop of oil has been discovered in any one of them to date. How you like that? And the oil field, yes, the oil field that has 600 oil blocks stretching from Suriname border to the Venezuelan border with billions of barrels already discovered. and hundreds of millions, I should say billions of barrels likely in there, waiting to be discovered, is exempted from Guyana's new oil law. Man, are you serious in this country? Are you serious in this country? Jagdeo and Norton, I think they vaccinate that one. Nothing can touch Exxon. I wonder why. Ask yourself why, uncle and auntie. Like them alone want to live. Me and you ain't got mouths. Like we children ain't got mouths too. What am I saying here, uncle, is nothing new. What I'm telling you people here is nothing new. The Kaieteur News have reported on it already, in which we said the Exxon contract does not bind Exxon to any law Guyana bring or pass. Are you hearing me? We reported this story many moons ago. We president, we parliament, we government, and the opposition can't do nothing about that. That is how ExxonMobil designed the contract and had Trotman and the coalition sign on to it. Now, uncle, just tell me this thing, man. If you know a man buying you, your family and your unborn children like that, okay? PNC buying we. And we know that we are binded that way. Now tell me, what you guys gonna do? Huh? That is how Exxon bind this country. And the present leaders are in bed with it, meaning Jagdeo, in bed with it just like that. Are you notice? Whenever Exxon name call, or anybody say a critical word about ExxonMobil, how the PPP and the PNC leaders does behave? Wait, man. Is what Exxon do to them? How come the people who reaping and raping us in their friends is their friends? How come now, uncle? How come the people who raping us and reaping from us is their friends and we are their enemies? How come this thing happening this way, man? Can anybody help me to understand this thing? Now tell me, uncle, you're bound and blinded like that. And your leaders keep on approving project after project and getting vexed, foaming at their mouths, ready to cuss you down when you ask these questions about why they are approving the projects. How come now, man? When you ask, uncle, why they are approving more and more projects, they're fuming at their mouth and they get upset with reporters. I have a video when I asked Jagdeo a question. I want to play it back. I played it for you many times, but I want you to listen to the man back again because some of you forget or some of you never hear him. Play him there. I just want to be specific, sir. I'm telling you, fencing for liability coverage and corporation.
You know what you are asking me? Well, I go to a place, I order a plucked chicken. And the person said, and then I asked the man, are you going to pull out the feather by the tail? No, and also the other things? The plucked chicken is that we made it clear publicly that projects under the Starbrook block, that they will enjoy the same terms as were there in the 2016 agreement. That's it. The fifth project is done under the Starbrook block. That is the plucked chicken.
No, sir.
Yes, that's a plucked chicken. You're going to ask me.
Right. I'm talking, you're going to approve a fifth project.
Under the Starbrook block, in the Starbrook block. In the Starbrook block. That's the fifth project. Okay. In the Starbrook block. So that's you asking me about the feather now, by the tail and the feather by the foot.
Is that the answer?
Right, yes. That's the answer. I told you, you may not agree with it. You don't agree with it. Not that you may not, you don't agree with it.
Okay.
But you have the answer there.
You may not agree with it. No, you not agree with it. I know you not agree with it. But that's the answer there. You're asking me from the feather, about the feather from the foot and the feather from the tail. That's the Starbrook block. Nothing will change. We will do everything with the contract Trotman signed. That's the man Barra Jagdeo. That was me asking him that question at his press conference. The oil field from Suriname to Venezuela that has all the oil inside. All. Or 95% of the Guyana's oil inside there. The man telling you plain, nothing will change. And I run go vote for them. And I run go vote for them. I tell you the destruction this oil industry will do to this country. Man, I will be running like dogs to find food. Or you might not even have planes soon. All them planes that you see coming into Guyana, it is because of the oil. Before oil find, Jagdev couldn't get an international aircraft to come to Guyana. None wanted to come to this country. Not one. I tell you this story earlier. The only aircraft used to come to Guyana was Caribbean Airline. Not one they could get. They find oil. I'll come for drain everything. When I'm done with oil, and the plane walk away and the Exxon walk away, I'm going to be joining the Africans, the Arabians, and the Asians sailing to Europe or America with small boats. That is why you're all preparing for your children and grandchildren. Nothing will change. And while he's saying nothing will change, the PNC is nowhere in sight to even come to your defense. You people can't see where the PPP and the PNC got you on to this day. This is not like a yo-yo, uncle. These people actually abandoned Guyana. They're looking out for themselves. And you better start looking out for yourself. Oil companies did that everywhere they went. That's why hundreds of millions of people bawling in search of a meal everywhere in the third world countries. Yes, everywhere. Oil companies corrupt the politicians. They buy over the professionals, compromise the elites, even the media houses and the religious homes are included. I better get out into the streets now. Get out now when you're not hungry, uncle, and still got a little energy. Because it will be too late to even stand on your feet when there's nothing to fight for. Everything done and everybody gone. That is what will happen in this country. Mark this madman words. Mark my words, uncle and auntie. Man, which honest, patriotic, decent leader that truly loved their people would approve any other oil project for ExxonMobil, knowing that these people shaft you this way from day one, man? Huh? Which decent leader would knock glass with these people, smile and laugh with them? Which caring leader, when you ask questions about ExxonMobil and renegotiation, would tell you they don't want to hear about that word renegotiation? Which caring leader does things like this, man? Huh? Look at their faces. Look their reactions. They're upset with reporters for asking questions about the oil industry every time. Every time. And you people standing at your finger for them. Yes. They're starving at your children. And are you still going to stay in at your finger for them? Oh, buddy. Look how I live. In the richest country on earth. Oh, will you help this madman to understand what he doesn't know, please? Will you help me? I challenge the tax giveaway in the oil contract to ExxonMobil. Government and Exxon jump in to fight against me in that case. That's nothing new. Fred Collins and White, two other Guyanese, took EPA to court to get full protection in the event of an oil spill. Government wasted no time to jump in again, and Exxon followed them to fight against the Guyanese people. Oh. Raznick and Hughes, a few weeks ago, that's two other Guyanese, took EPA to court about a permit for the Wales gas to shore project they granted. And for the third time, uncle, the government and Exxon jump in to fight against the Guyanese people again. Tomorrow we are carrying a story on the front page. The government defense in the same case, they say if the High Court grant in favor of the people of Guyana, how this country gonna lose? Oh my God. Auntie and uncle, y'all notice every time a Guyanese citizen moves to the courts for help with anything to do with Exxon and this oil and gas, Jagdeo and the government are jumping right away on ExxonMobil side. Jagdeo even went so far to rebuke Justice Kissoon's ruling on protecting Guyana. He said the judiciary must make predictable decisions and that his ruling goes into murky waters. Uncle and auntie, this man only had to say to Exxon, listen buddy, the court rule and me can't touch that. That is not the role of a government. Instead, Jagdeo went in the opposite direction and didn't only get the EPA to appeal the decision, he even get the Attorney General, yes, the full state of the law or I should say the full power of the state to join the EPA to fight against Justice Kissoon ruling. Followed by ExxonMobil. Now, you tell me, man. You tell me again. Whose side Barra Jagdeo they on? You guys remember my radio program with Jagdeo? When I asked him if he would like me to win the tax case so that Exxon can give me the rightful share of taxes from the oil? I remember what he said. He said he's not putting his mouth into that. But he find his tongue, teeth and whole mouth to lash out at Justice Kissoon ruling. That's a loving leader. That's a caring leader and a patriotic son of Guyana called Barra Jagdeo. Why you say that? When he not jumping on Exxon's side against the Guyanese people, he jumping down the few Guyanese, yes, the few Guyanese citizens who trying to do something for their own brothers and sisters, the fellow Guyanese. That's what you do, you jump down we throat. And the reporter's throat. I have to ask, whose interests Jagdeo looking out for here, man? Can someone you tell me? This is why I had to text him the other day and tell him to get out that so-and-so office. And I told him he's one of the greatest danger Guyana have for the citizens of this country. I told him that. I even tell him, if he remain there, uncle, or let me tell you this, let me don't tell you, but I told him that. If the man remain there, it will be a demise or a dreamise for all of us. Look at the press conference. You're not only seeing the hostility in them, you're feeling it coming out their voices. Oh, you're going to ask about oil again? How many times I answer those questions? Or that question? That's how we just respond. This is the kind of attitude coming from Jagdeo. As for Aubrey Norton, when he get into office, or if he should ever get into office, then he will ask Exxon for more within the first 50 days. Man, is either he's a prankster or he believe we are a set of fools. As for Ramjatan, well, I know how he say already. If I want more, I go form my own political party. How much more are you going to sit down, uncle, and take in this land? These people showing you every day where they stand with ExxonMobil and our oil. Oh, and I would still kill yourself for them and go give them your vote. This time I give them your face. These are the disasters that we have on our hands today. And this is the disastrous road they're taking us down, uncle. What Exxon doing to them? What Exxon doing to them, uncle? Them don't start doing to all of you. Except you would be getting a longer one. You know what I mean? Continue smiling with them and throw my all around the neck. It's a longer one. Ideas you'll be getting. for this year alone, the Kaieteur News carried thousands of stories. If I am to explain each one of them, it would sick your souls as to what these misfits allowing Exxon to do to us and getting away with it. Yesterday and today, we carried some stories which I will only give a little brief on them, one by one for you, man. Let me give you the first one. A world-class financial expert, a white man too, who was the deputy controller of the state of New York, 20 million people. This man had over 144,000 employees working under him. He dealt with thousands of contracts. Contracts, thousands. Now one, na ExxonMobil one. Thousands. Valued at hundreds of billions in US dollars. This man has analyzed Exxon contract with Guyana. Yes, uncle, it will take 50 programs to just tell you what that man said about Guyana contract with Exxon. And I don't have the time for that. I think you get a grave picture of what it is that any law Guyana pass will not affect Exxon contract. So you can't get worse than that. But that gentleman went into detail to tell you that you're going to swim for Meet America soon. 2 days ago, he weighed in on Justice Kissoon ruling. And this is what he said. The government defense of Exxon seems like oil money more important to them than the environmental laws of this country. That's what he said. This is a stranger, a white man, an American. He said that. What he means is the pennies these political scholars collecting is more important than our lives and livelihood from an oil spill. He said, Exxon is the most difficult company to pay when it comes to an oil spill, uncle. He said if they don't walk away, if Exxon don't walk away, them would even fight your dying grandmother just not to pay. And then the man gave an example. But those are not his words, your grandmother. I put that in. That's what he means. He said he was part of the negotiations of Exxon on an oil spill during his professional career. And he see how hard it is to fight ExxonMobil in court or to fight ExxonMobil on any level. That's what the man said. He said they had an oil spill between New Jersey and New York. And the court awarded 8.9 billion US. And New York State ended up settling it after a hard and long fight and only get $250 million. I didn't hear what I said there just now, man. Court. Almost $9 billion. And New York get $250 million. And this smart man we got here in Guyana, called Barajagdeo, heading the sector, telling us, when asked how Guyana will get Exxon to pay or take care of an oil spill, he said we will take Exxon to court. Oh, brother. Oh, Father, you help me. You help me. Thank you, Justice Kissoon. At least your judgment, that judgment will stand as to how you try to protect Guyana, and Jagdeo's record will show how he's doing everything to protect ExxonMobil and the foreigners. Yes, that is the legacy Jagdeo leaving for himself. He commented on Justice Kissoon ruling when the man ruled in favor of Guyana. But he didn't commented when Glenn Lall lose the tax case. That's the man Bharat Jagdeo. Let's move to another story. That one came from a press conference, uncle. This one here come from a press conference. Exxon had with a few reporters 2 days ago. I love it. They tell the reporters that Exxon got 2 accounting books for Guyana that shows 2 different sets of profits. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. 1 second, excuse me. Let me sip this tea. I gotta sip this tea. Uncle, Exxon said I got 2 books, accounting books, that show 2 different sets of profit. One book show $577 billion in profits, and the other one show $106 billion in profits. They tell the reporters Guyana must only focus on the $106 billion, not the $577 billion. Oh my God, if this is not a wishy-washy country with wishy-washy leaders, Glenn Lall don't know what is happening in this land. I wish I was at that press conference. I would have tell that white man, not only his eyes past Guyana, but another nice word I would have added in front the eyes. Yes. I would have used a word ending with ing, eyes past Guyana, to tell this nation that we must not focus on the 577 billion profits, but the one that's showing 106 billion. Then he went on to tell the reporters Exxon didn't take any loans. How them invest 100% of their own money. Them own money. Them own money and come with no cost. That is what them white man want us to believe. Throwing you off track that they didn't take no loans. Uncle, it is even worse with that word equity. Equity is no different from a bank loan. Equity is even more dangerous than a bank loan. A bank loan, everybody can see what rate the bank charging you. But when it comes to equity, them can say, them can put in any amount to which they have to take back out. Oh, uncle. Oh, the gimmicks, the tricks, the wool they're pulling over the eyes with the explanation they're giving us in this land. These, look. These people really believe none of us been to school. And telling the reporters, don't record them. Because when we were discussing the matter, I said, you have these people on tape? No, boss. No. They tell us not to record them. Them have to learn from Bara Jagdeo. Or Bara Jagdeo learn from them. Y'all remember the Gas to Shore project? The one and only press briefing Jagdeo them had with the media heads, telling us don't record them. Oh, them a whole briefing. Them explain Gas to Shore project and I tell the media heads, not the reporters, the media heads, not to record them. Now ExxonMobil, yes, explaining the accounting system to Guyana, telling the reporters they're not allowed to record them. Oh, buddy, it's when are you going to wake up, buddy? When are you going to wake up? The man went on to tell the reporters, don't focus on the 75% cost recovery. Oh, uncle, this one make a laugh. Because that is only the money they put in, they're taking out. We mustn't worry about the 75% cost recovery. That is only the money what they're taking out. What they put in. Oh my. Your eyes passed this country to tell us that you only taking out the money I say you put in and nothing more. You got to keep that for Bara Jagdeo and Aubrey Norton. And if possible, Ramjatan, but he not around. Lall and the Guyanese people may not have been to the business university you went to. You went to Exxon, but we sure understand what investment is, how to run and manage a business. Uncle and Auntie, this man was so brazen. He even gave an example. He tell him if you buy a mango for $10 and sell it back for $10, you're only making back what you put in. So you cannot make a profit. That is the example he give. You're just recovering the investment. You know what you mean there, uncle? The $50 billion them said they invest out there, only that they're recovering. That is what you mean. They spend $15 billion and recovering $50 billion and telling you they're not making a profit. You're right. They're not making a profit. They're robbing you blind 35 billion US right away there. Yes. That is what you call equity. Oh, uncle. Money what they never put in. Money what they never put in, they're taking out. Yes. This is why the books got to be different. They're not only robbing Guyana, they're robbing the shareholders too. I wish I had the voice to sing a song for you tonight. Seeing it's Friday. And Sunday's Father's Day. Because it's Father's Day, let me take this opportunity to wish all the fathers a foot day Father's Day. Meaning, get out into the streets and stop this wholesale robbery of your country. Please. A foot day Father's Day to all of you. Get out into the streets on Father's Day and show these people. Mother's Day, I was on the street walking the whole Essequibo coast on Mother's Day. Enjoy your Father's Day. You know why they hold a press conference, Uncle? It is because of this program. This very program and my TikToks I just be doing. I keep on telling you people that 50 billion US, if they put on a 10% interest rate on it, is 5 billion US a year they're taking out from our oil alone. While Guyana getting just about $1 billion in profit and royalty. So they come up with a new scheme to call press conference to tell the reporters it's not a loan, it's their own investment. Well, if you do the maths, Uncle, like I said, it's even more than 5 billion a year with those inflated oil projects. Twist it and turn it. If you not take it out in interest rate, you're taking it out on the inflated projects. Jagdeo approved 3, 9, 10, and 13 billion. The coalition 2, and that was 7. 3 Jagdeo approved, 9, 10, and 13 billion. Man. Oh, Father. Oh. Oh. Whew. The money are you getting robbed up front? I don't know. And then this man come tell me, oh, it's not a loan. It's equity. All the money we get, we keep putting it back just to keep the business going. And every time we bring a barrel of oil, we take out 75% for what we put in. And nobody checking what him said they're putting in. Ay. You guys remember I keep talking about the decommissioning money? The cleanup cost money. That's what they call decommissioning costs. They're taking out hundreds of millions each year on every project. Well, they change the name. They change the name from decommissioning costs to asset retirement obligation. Nothing changed, just the name. It's the same cleanup money coming out, Uncle, but in fancy terms. Asset retirement obligation. And how we know about it? My reporter saw it and asked them at the press conference 2 days ago. That's how we learned. It's the same thing. They didn't list it as decommissioning costs anymore. Lall talking too much about decommissioning costs. Yes. So they put it as retirement, asset retirement obligation. The things these people doing to you. Oh my God. The things they're doing to you. You got a tape there to play for them? Play.
It's a business decision. Governments have to be run like business. It's not cake shop operation.
Play it back again.
It's a business decision. Governments have to be run like business. It's not cake shop operation.
That's what he had told me. Government has to run like a business. It's not a cake shop operation. The Messiah is on his way to enter the race for 2025. This is a message for Jagdeo and Norton. So the Messiah whisper in my ears and tell me, yeah, I'll be ready for him. And that Messiah will hire the right people to manage the resources so that the Guyanese people can get a good Father's Day. Not this one coming. The 2026 one. Because the first day, the swearing in day, ExxonMobil will be in the presidential suite on their knees, begging the Messiah, how can we help you, sir? Oh. Can we take a telephone call? Today, Uncle, we are told that a government minister is being accused of raping and sodomizing a 15-year-old Amerindian girl on the Essequibo coast. I read some of the child texts describing in detail what she said the minister did to her. Man, it would sick your soul, Uncle and Auntie. Please read the full details in tomorrow Kaieteur News. President Ali says, when asked, he government is committed to the facts being fully investigated because he cares dearly for every girl and woman throughout this country. And he will continue to do everything to ensure their safety and well-being. I would not be surprised. Listen to me carefully, Uncle. I would not be surprised if a couple $1 million pass to settle this issue with the parents of that child. Any bets? I bet in all I hear that this is what will happen. I always know what I talking. I always know what I was talking. Yeah, always know. I just get we call it, Raj, you get a vision? Yes. I got a vision that money will pass and this matter will run, thrown under the carpet. And the minister will be smiling again. Any bets? All right, so Friday, namaste. I'll be taking 2 calls and head out the office. Thank you.
All right, it is now 8:33 p.m. That was definitely a mouthful of information as we're getting ready to accept your calls. Remember, the numbers are 226-7453, 226-7454, and I believe we already have a call. Yes, good evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Glenn Lall Show?
Yes. Yes, go right ahead.
Huh?
Go right ahead, Kevin.
Huh?
What are you doing there, man, Kevin? Get up there, man. Sir, put it to the mic.
What they did to Saddam Hussein, the same thing time gonna come and then go do it to him. So he has to stick to exile. Mobile, right? And I'm gonna tell you something. I think these things what you are saying, I'm not against. But we have an army, head of the army, seize the power of the country. Head of the police force, seize the power of the country. Thank you very much.
Yes, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good. Wonderful program as usual.
Thank you.
Man. Yeah. Man, your word is getting under their skin, man. You know, when I personally had done a political survey, right, about the electoral survey of last local government to this local government election, right? Glenn, 70% of Guyanese did not turn out to vote. And I know for a fact that this message is getting under the Guyanese, is getting over to the Guyanese, right? And they are waiting on the right Messiah. And I know I'm happy with what I just hear, man. You know,
the Messiah coming.
And Glenn, yeah. And Glenn, bear in mind, I have a friend right, by the name of Danny. He was telling me up to today. He said, "A vote for PPP and a vote for PNC and our APNO is a vote for ExxonMobil."
You mean a vote for that thief, ExxonMobil?
Right. ExxonMobil don't pay these two party leaders them have. So these people don't concern about Guyanese. You know, and Glenn, let me assure you something, man. This every election that is normally go out and vote, you know. But this very local government election that happened here, right? I didn't went out, you know, for two reasons. One, it's the personal one, but the other one, right? The other one is that I cannot see a government, right, where the court have give Guyana, give ExxonMobil, right, pass a law to give Guyana full liability coverage in the event of an oil spill. And I cannot understand and see how a government, how
would go against that.
Leaders that we have are saying that how they love this country, one Guyana and so on, and they are going to block such a thing. I cannot understand that.
Right.
You understand? So these people are two-faced.
But
these people very deceitful, man.
I agree with you. They are. But unless we spread this message, unless we let people know, you see, one of the issues we have in this country, the masses of the population are not literate. All right?
Glenn, people are waking up, though, my friend.
It
people
is
are waking up.
for we to have a change and have proper leaders take over this country and manage our resources in the right fashion. You got to bring about a change, and you can't bring about a change with a man who jumping in there for get 5 or 10 seats. The man or that woman has to go there and take full control of this country. If not, you're wasting time. And for you to do that, you have to get, my friend, you have to get the masses out there. You got to hit them in the head and let them understand that these people who they have been loyal to for all these years, they are taking them into the graveyard. Right? That's the message have to go out there to everybody. You got to sit with them and explain to them. You have to show them. All right? That's the only way. That's the only way. Yes, the masses, many of the people didn't go out and vote. But come 2025, when you hear PNC and PPP start preaching hate race issue, man, they're going back to vote race again. So unless we get people to understand that you have to see each other, not as Africans and Indians, Hindus or Christians, and see, man, you got to see us as Guyanese. You know, I keep saying this thing. When you walk in the white man world, anyway, in Europe, in North America, you walk in the white man world, be it an Indian or an African, you are being you're being looked at as one black man or a black woman. That's how you're being seen as in the eyes of the white people. And Guyanese need to understand this. They ain't got race there. You either be white or you're black in America. You understand what I'm telling you? Glenn Lall is considered a black man in America. I have lived it, I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I taste it, I eat it, I sleep it. I am not. I am just as a black man in America. Only in Guyana we hear about oh, here Indian and here African. This is what we go along with. And unless you people, unless the Guyanese people begin to wake up, you hear me? This country is heading to the dogs. And this is what oil companies did all over the world. They pit race against each other. They pit tribe against each other. Just for us to fight among ourselves. And while we fight among ourselves, they fetch out everything. And my friend, Patrice Lumumba have said it very clearly. The man have said it very clearly. They thrive on division. And the political parties, both the PPP and the PNC, they have been having a field day ever since with race.
Yeah, Glenn, yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful, man.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Good, brother. You have a
We have another call online. Good evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show.
Good night, Mr. Lall and panel.
Yes, good night.
Good night, sir. Wonderful program. I enjoyed it. Till now, the 65 or how much of them that made up the cabinet, none of them have the guts. They don't have the guts to just come out and say, hey, half an hour, I will back an extra million on that. And come next ED, come on, they're out of there. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Guyanese man, woman, and child, it's time. I'm trembling, Mr. Lall.
Thank you. Yes, good evening. Good evening. Things have to change in this country, Uncle. And only you, only your finger, only your foot can bring about that change. Only you can bring about it. I told you people, Africa is waking up. Asia, many parts of Asia are waking up. India has already awoken. India eyes are wide open. Good evening, sir. Hello? I get cut off. Take it.
Good evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Raise it up.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Speak up a little louder.
Three fathers, greetings to you all dear.
Thank you so much.
Now, if Mr. Glenn, good evening. I said three fathers, night greetings to you all, men. Now, if Mr. Glenn, as you all boss, do something that you all see he do, or he do, and you don't see, if he is the leader, he is the head of you all, and he can commit those type of offense and it's sweep under the mat. What about the others to do? You get what I'm saying?
You get what you say?
Huh?
Yes.
Good. Well, it's leadership by example.
Answer her, Kevin.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
So somewhere along.
Thank you. What did she say? Speak up.
She was saying if he can do it, what about the other ministers below him? The people below him.
If the minister, okay. I didn't hear her very clear. But listen, and it's not even the first time I'm told that this particular minister has interfered with people's girl children. So, hey, it's lawlessness going on in this country. Everything starts and stops at the leader.
Good evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show.
Yes, good evening, sir. You know, in Africa, they got this tribe they call it Boko Haram or something like that.
Boko Haram, yeah?
It appears to me if we don't get a political party to remove these two, I don't know. I was the guy that came up with the name creatures, but they're gone beyond that. I don't know how we can get rid of these people because they can get, when you see elections, they come, they can vote. So we can have in these parties, can get like a seesaw, the AFNU, the AFC. I know we got to get something, we got to get rid of these people. So it appears to me to bring this country, we got to create a Boko Haram or some Haram. But we can't wait like what they do in Africa. Them people cheering, we don't carry these politicians and disappear them. You understand me?
No,
From
man.
both sides.
No.
Something we got to do to
No.
We don't keep singing this song.
No.
We gotta be careful of what we say.
Boko.
My kid and gone, and we gonna get to the. We all got to form a party and get to these people. It is hard to educate these Guyanese people in the majority to win these two concubines that we got out there, you know. Something y'all got to do, the educational people got to get together and get to these people by trying to, because when you see XL Mobile, they get in nothing unless Africa, you know what we gonna do. Big man, y'all try and do something, or individual people gonna have to remove these people individually. Individually, we'll have to remove these people, you know. You know how they get to them from in India one by one, they get to them Gandhis, budum.
All right, sir. We
No.
will have to change the topic. Thanks a lot for calling, though.
That's it.
Good evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show.
No, hold, Kevin.
Good night.
I am not hearing you, sir. I'm not hearing you. No. I'm not hearing you. I'll call you back. Kevin, let's don't waste time with these people. If they just cut the phone off, right? Don't waste time with them.
Scratch.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Glenn.
Yes, please turn on your radio, man. I tell you people when you call in, just slow the radio down.
Okay. Is your call
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, good night.
Good night.
I'm calling from a secure man.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a problem here where a man from the PPP party come in front of my house and shake his penis on me, and no police not come. I report and no police not come up to today.
When that happened?
That happened Tuesday afternoon after the election. I went to the station at Aurora. I make a report. The police said go home and wait, and nobody not come. This afternoon, a busload of the PPP people, well dressed, and come and cuss me down in front of my yard and tell me me the Mama Cat party, and they want to fight with me. Last couple days before the election, Lall come in front of my house, lambaste me that me the Mama Cat party, and a whole set of things wrecking for me. That these people, I must say, one Guyana.
All right, I'll talk with you. I'll talk with you off the air.
Okay.
All right,
okay,
good night. Set the low life, you call them. It's getting to the. Give me the phone if I can handle this thing. Yes. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening. Yes.
I am very much surprised that ExxonMobil has now renamed, or they're using different terms now to continue their shenanigans.
Yes.
You know and to kerfuffle the people them.
That's a nice
What was
word.
that term you just mentioned? Asset recovery.
Asset restoration.
Oh, asset restoration. Now look at that.
No, asset retirement. Asset retirement restoration.
Look at that. Now, the average Guyanese person would not understand what that is, and it sounds so fancy with all these terms, you know?
Yes.
Now, what Exxon is doing, it is quite true that the program that you're doing is really getting over. It is very effective that they themselves are learning. So that is why they are devising strategies now as to how to counteract the narrative now that you are now educating the public of this whole business going on. So we have to be on the lookout for these fancy terms because we all know that Exxon is up to no good for this country, and they will do anything to just keep us in the dark, just to ship up, just to get the wealth out of this country. While our misleaders, they sit in office and they just warm their seats and they do nothing about it. And this is getting out of hand. So I think after this election here, there has been, I think they're going to be busy, right? Both the government, the opposition, and Exxon. I think they're up to some plan, something they're doing, because I noticed the billboards that they were having around the country, especially those that I saw around where I'm living, they have redo them. They have a new message on it. I'm trying to get a picture of it.
Send me a photo.
Yeah. They did this thing, I think, last week. It has been changed over to something new. And you will see what I mean. I don't know if they're doing it across the country, but they are in some mode right now where they're trying to get the people to be confused here. So I like the fact that you are exposing them, and Exxon, you cannot hide any longer. You would have had this thing going on for 100 years, and this is the last frontier. Guyana is the last frontier. Let me say this again. Guyana is the last frontier where we are having these amounts of oil. And I think this is where the finale is going to happen with this resource they call crude oil. And ExxonMobil will have to be very careful how they're stepping on our ground here with this, because it's not going to go down easy. We have a wealth of information over the decades, and Guyanese people are more poised now to understand what they have been doing to the countries of the world. And more so through your medium, we are very grateful and thankful that you're using it to educate us. So I want Guyanese to understand that they have to be on the lookout for these things.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yes. The asset retirement obligation. That's the 3 words they changed decommissioning to. Taking out hundreds of millions on every project each year. More than what Guyana getting in profit and royalty, brother, on one single line item. Oh boy. All right. You have any there?
No, sir.
All right. So it's 8:54. Like I said, it's Friday, and I want to go have a good time. So enjoy your weekend. God bless, and I see you guys on Monday.